going on, everybody? Welcome to Pillow Talk with Paul Goneau. Today, my guest is comedian Karam Sbeit.
How's everyone doing?
Happy to have you, sir. Glad
Happy to be here.
How far do you live from me? How long did it take you to get here?
Well, there was a bunch of traffic on the, getting from my house from, here in Ontario to the 403. That took me 10 minutes, right? But if I'm leaving, earlier, where there's no traffic, I think it'll take me, maybe 15 minutes. Because it took me, 25 minutes, but, from Burnham Thorpe to the, I had to stop at, when you turn left, I had to wait, for 3 times to get to the front, you know what I mean? So
I hate that shit, dude.
Yeah, man.
Traffic's a new thing for me to be dealing with. I only started driving this year. Me and my lady got a car November. Literally, I think the last day of November, last year, and she was driving a little bit before me because she went to driving school, so she was allowed to get her G2, I don't know, 3 months ahead of time or whatever it is, And so I felt I don't know, I was kind of sucked. Those 3 months kind of sucked, her having to drive me around everywhere and shit. But traffic is some bull. Literally just started dealing with it this year in February. I got my shit, and yesterday, dude, and pretty much any time you go to Toronto on the weekend, fucking brutal, absolutely insane. I feel like a lot of people probably talk about this, but it's super new to me, and I hate it.
Especially now in Mississauga, you have 30 new condos that are coming around the Square One area.
Yeah, and they're doing all that shit
with the streetcar.
Yeah.
And then in Toronto, you have the Gardner. It went down to 2 lanes on each side. So you're oh man, you start second guess. Do I really want to go out?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it took us I don't know, when we left, it said 52 minutes. It took us an hour and a half to get where we were going.
Yeah. And tight streets in Toronto. At least in Mississauga, it's still if you're not in the center of the city, it's still fairly the streets are fairly big,
Yeah.
You have 4 lanes, on each side.
Yeah, people complain about Brampton, man.
Yeah.
And Toronto is my least favorite place to drive for sure.
Especially when say I work in the morning and then I get home at 4:30, so I eat, I shower. I relax for 10-15 minutes, and if I'm hitting up an open mic that starts at 7, you're okay, I gotta leave before 6, at 5:45, to get on the list early, so I can go home, because I wake up at 5 a.m., right?
Yeah.
So, and you're oh man, now is the height of the traffic, and to get to, Bloor and Kiel, it's 20 miles away, 20 kilometers away, or 25, but it's taking me almost an hour. When in the morning on my commute, I'm okay, 24 minutes, I'm there,
Yeah. How long you been driving?
Since 2016. Now I started driving late as well. At 26, I started driving.
Okay.
But everything was so close to me. Work used to be a bus away, and on the way back from work, because I used to cook as well.
Oh, okay.
So on the way back, people would drop me off, and then my second job was walking distance to. From home, so even if I finished at 1, I'm 1:10, I'm at home, ready to go to bed.
Yeah. So what do you do now then?
I do rebar. I install steel.
Okay.
So usually what it is, a simple explanation is, concrete, right?
Yeah.
So concrete, if you don't put steel in it, it will crack. So when you're driving over a bridge, it's if there's no rebar in it, which is like metal rods, it will crack. And then the thing is, it will still crack on a long period of time. But say, if it cracks, you can fix it, you can patch it. Under the Gardner, they're patching the big columns, right?
Oh yeah, it's fucking
right. But look,
there,
that's almost like 75 years old.
You can see a lot of the rebar when you're driving
exactly.
on it, on the curb and stuff like that.
Yeah. So mostly I do. On the commercial sector, I just finished building a school in Stouffville.
Okay.
My next job is gonna be, we're doing it's at the army base up in Borden, so we're doing pretty much a slab, I don't know what they're gonna use it for, but I know it's gonna be heavy.
Yeah. Fucking military, eh?
Yeah.
That's always gotta be. I had a buddy who's like an ex-con or whatever you call him. Like he just had a record, you know. I feel like a lot of us do, but he was one of those guys, and his construction company was like building a new jail, and he was doing it for like a quite a while, you know. And like every night he just like he'd hate himself for it, you know. It's like
yeah.
It's like I know you gotta, you know, he's gotta obviously pay his bills and shit, but he didn't like doing that, man. That's gotta feel like the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
Military. My friend just had her son, and to be fair, he's doing like he's in the kitchen in the military. Like he went to like Quebec for a little bit, and I think he just moved to like North Bay, or he's gonna move to North Bay. I don't know all the details, but like I don't know if I'd ever want, like, I only have a daughter right now. Maybe we'll have a boy or another child down the road, but like I don't know if I'd want any of my kids joining the military.
No,
dude.
absolutely.
Or even like become a police officer or any. And it's sad to say, because obviously, like, I mean, the systems that we live within, they require, like, the police will never go away, the military's never going away, you know. And the times where I feel like, I don't know, when I was young, dude, there was a time when I wanted to be a cop, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like with, like, YouTube and shit, like, and, like, just social media in general, like, those days are done. There's not a lot of cops. Kids that want to be cops,
absolutely,
rather. Do you know what I mean? Did you ever, like...
I'll tell you what, when I first came to Canada, like, in high school, like, you come in, they're like, yo, what do you want to do? It's like, buddy, I don't know what I want to do, so, I was going to become a dentist, because I heard, like, dentists make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I go to chemistry class, and, like, one of my friends asked me, he's like, oh, like, what are you going to do? I'm going to be a dentist. It's like, you know, they have the highest suicide rates. And I'm like...
That's wild.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, you know, so my marks weren't even that high, and then my dad's like, yo, I heard, like, cops make a lot, like make good money. You know, you have your own car, and blah, 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 and, like, I went and brought fresh off the boat. They're like, okay, you gotta have, like, an 80 in English, because you gotta write reports, and you gotta run, like, X amount of, like, miles, and I'm like, buddy, I'm fat. I'm like, yo, it's like, dream is gone. I'm not gonna be a cop. It's like, you want me to run?
Have to work at the courthouse.
Yeah, exactly.
Working at the metal detector.
Or even like at the traffic, you know, it's like
That's true. Yeah.
You know, like when you there's construction, there's like a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, dude.
That's like probably the, like, you know, no reports, you know.
You gotta imagine, like, within like the cop fucking brotherhood or whatever, like, those are like considered like that's like, oh shit, he got traffic duty. Like, those guys probably their balls get busted all the time because that's what they have to do, I imagine.
No, believe it or not, like, when you see them in traffic, that's their day off, and then they get the extra, the extra money for that day. Like, a couple of cops told me, like, it's like, yo, it's like, I'm doing nothing, I'm just like sitting like
that's
at a construction site.
Yeah, it's an easy. All right. Guess that kind of makes sense.
One time we were at work, and so we're going in, we're building a water tank, and then down the street there's some people doing some work, like road work, right? And then these like two cops like roll up on us. It's like two black guys with me, right? And then they stop right there, and they turn their flashes on, and we're like, okay, what the hell, you know what I mean? And at that point, like, I just finished like smoking a joint, so I thought like someone fucking like called on us, or like we're parked on the side of the road. Okay, they're like, okay, where do you want us to post it up? We're like, excuse me? They're like, yeah, like we're here for you guys. We're like, we're working in there. Like, what are you here for us? And they're like, oh, it's the guys down the street. Yeah, but they were pretty cool. They were pretty cool. My buddy was yelling, $100 ounces, $100 ounces. Like, bro, what the hell, man?
No words.
Yeah.
How long ago was weed legal at the time?
It was, but like, you can't smoke in the car. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's yeah. True.
Like, I literally just got out of the car.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
I saw this thing, and like, a guy had just arrived home, and cops show up to his house, and they're like 20 minutes after he got home, and they're like, yeah, we got reports of like your car driving erratically, and we need to do a breathalyzer. And like, I just think it's crazy that, I mean, that guy could have drank once he got home.
Yeah.
And these guys are like, I don't understand how these people get trained. These people that, like, we're supposed to put our faith in to protect us. Like, I want to be, like, if someone's breaking into my house, like, anything short of, like, grabbing a weapon, whatever I got in here, figure it out. Like, I want to be able to call the cops. I want to be able to tell my daughter when she gets older, like, that, you know, do that shit. Like, I'm obviously, like, I'm for sure going to try hard to get her into, like, martial arts and Muay Thai. I did Muay Thai for a bit, and I think that's pretty well. Do you have kids?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm getting married this year.
Oh, shit. Congrats, dude.
Thanks,
Congrats. So, like, let's just back up a sec. When did you move here?
To Canada in 2006.
2006, okay. My lady moved maybe, like, I don't know what year it was, 11 or 12 years ago, something like that. Yeah, but she wasn't, like, in your position. She moved from, like, Dubai with, like, her family, and I don't know, their whole situation is weird, but...
I've heard of it. It's like you renew your residency every year, and at one point they can be like, okay, no, like, we're not gonna... Or every, like, couple of years, and they're like, no, we're not gonna do it anymore. There's a guy that I know, he's a doctor down there, and he has to renew it every so often, and he's Muslim, right? So he has a wife here, and he has kids here, but he had to marry a Saudi, like in Saudi Arabia, he had to marry like another wife, so he can stay there, so he can work there. Instead of, like, you know, because like at one point they can be like, okay, go, because like, I don't want to get deep into politics.
Yeah.
But say, like, in Lebanon you have like two political parties, and like one political party is like biased towards Iran, and one political party is biased towards Saudi Arabia. Right, so the politicians are like, they have their differences, right?
Yeah.
So say one of the politicians that is like pro, like, Saudi Arabia does something that Saudi Arabia doesn't like, they start targeting the Lebanese people in, like, Saudi Arabia. They're like, okay, you know what? Like, you have 1 month to leave, and you're like, wait, what? What did I do? You know, it's like, but like, so that's how they'll deal with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've never lived anywhere outside of you know, I never even, like, traveled, dude. It's something. I've been to the States, like, once when I was super young, but I wasn't old enough to really appreciate it, and I just really went to, like, Buffalo. But I do remember it. But, like, nothing. I feel like the drive there was the thing that I remember the most.
Yeah.
For some reason. But I'd like to travel. I don't know if I'd... Like, my lady... her family situation's weird. And, it also... She used to have a good relationship with her family until they found out she was dating me.
Yeah.
And, at first, like, her sister... was like, she knew, like, almost right away she knew, and she would, like, come and celebrate, like, Christmas with us in secret and shit. And then my lady got pregnant. and so, like, early on in the pregnancy, she was like, she told them that she was dating me. She's like, I can't just tell them, like, I'm pregnant. I can't just do that. So she told them. My idea was, like, she was moving at one point, like, when we dated, maybe, like, I don't know, 8 or 9 months before she moved in. And she moved in because, like, it was the beginning of the pandemic, and shit was traveling was getting weird. And we're just like, we're always at each other's house. We're not working. Like, let's just fucking do it, you know? And so she moved in, and she was living with me and whatever. And yeah, when they found out, like, her mom and her dad were really weird about it. Her brother was weird about it. And her mom has come around, but, like, her brother and her dad are still, and she's weird about it. Like, she had a kid, her dad didn't try to like reach out. Like, I understand like where she's coming from and being angry and stuff like that. But her brother's like getting married, like he's been arranged, and they wanted her to like go up there and like, I don't know, bring Aaliyah.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know, like she doesn't want to go up there. She feels weird,
And where's up
especially
there?
how they've been. That's, I don't know exactly where the wedding's taking place, but her dad does a lot of work in Dubai, so I imagine like it's somewhere around there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like he's like only here like a small portion of the year. Like he travels for work and shit like that. So, you came from Lebanon.
Yeah.
What's I'm so interested in it. I don't know how to approach it, but like what's the whole story with the refugee camp?
So what it is see, you know how like after the Second World War, because like Palestine was colonized by England, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you had like a lot of Jewish immigration, like from 1911 till like the late 40s, and it's like
Yeah.
what happened is like a lot of Jews bought land there,
Yeah.
and then after the Holocaust, they're like, oh, like we have to leave Europe, and then there was already an idea of like a land for people without a land, or like something along the lines of that. Long story short, both my grandparents, they got kicked out of their homes, and they moved to Lebanon, right? And then whoever lost the Second World War had to pay for the repercussions, right? So like the refugee camp I lived in, is the land was owned by a church in Lebanon, so the Italian government rented the land for 99 years. So by like 2050, they'll either like renew it, or someone will, like a developer will come and be like, you know what, we're gonna take this whole land, like, you know what I mean, depending on what the church wants as well. But that's like too, like, I don't think that will happen, because like there's like 600-700 families living in this one refugee camp, right? So my grandparents moved there, of course, like with a bunch of people from like the same area. My grandpa was a baker, so my dad was born there. Fast forward to like the mid 60s, there's a civil war in Lebanon, and then there's the whole idea of like getting the land back. There's Yasser Arafat.
Yeah.
Okay, so he started the PLO, the Palestinian Liberty Organization.
Yeah.
And bro, you're like a kid, right? So the whole idea is like, okay, the wound is still fresh, right? So we're gonna get our land back. So you had my dad, both my uncles from my mom's side, they're all like, they became like militants, and now you have the Palestinians fighting their war against Israel from Lebanon.
It's so, man, I don't want to interrupt, but like it's so hard for me to say that it's even a war, because like it's just so one-sided.
Yeah.
And it's been so one-sided for so long that like, I know that's like the term that people use, but it's like, I don't know if that's really the proper term,
you know something? That land is like, it's like it's the Holy Land. Like for me, it is the Holy Land, because you gotta go back, not like before the British. You gotta go back to the Ottomans and the Byzantines, and like it's like that land has never seen peace since like you go back to the native man, and then the Canaanites came, and they settled there, and then before you know it, the Assyrians came, and then Abraham, like the Jews of that time, the Hebrews, they were there, and then they're like, oh, like in the Bible, like God wasn't too happy with them, so now you had the Babylonians come and then destroy the land, and then you had the Romans. So there's like a significant reason why that land has always been at war, and it's like such a strategic point to the world, because like it's like a roundabout for the whole planet. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? You're gonna go to India, you're gonna go through there. You're gonna go to Europe, you're gonna go through there. You're gonna go from Africa, you're gonna go through there. You know, so it's just like a very strategic point, and like you even like the Levant, the whole Levant. You go like to Syria and Lebanon. You see people with blue eyes and blonde hair. You're like, okay, well, like where'd you come from?
Yeah, yeah.
Even like Alexandria, like Egypt, Alexandria. It's named after Alexander the Great. You know, who came from Macedonia. You go to Afghanistan. You see people with like blue eyes, and you're like, hey, you don't look Afghan. You look Greek. You know.
Mm.
But to go back to the refugee camp, so the war happened. My dad was a baker as well. He got a gig in Iraq. He moved to Iraq. He opened up his own bakery. 1990 comes. The United States invades Iraq. So look, he left from a war. Went to Lebanon, and then you're like, okay. And then the currency collapsed in Iraq. So in Lebanon the currency collapsed. So he's been saving all his like in the 80s. Gets to the end of the 80s, like, okay, everything. Imagine like you had like a quarter million, and then you go back and you're like, oh no, now you have 25,000. You're like, I've been working for the past 10 years, and now I have nothing. So now you're back at like you left for 10 years at 0,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're back at 0. But now you have like 4 kids with you and a whole family.
Yeah.
So the house that my mom grew up in was still around, but there was mind you, this is a refugee camp for Palestinians. But after the war, a lot of Palestinians like left. Some people went to Denmark, Canada, and so on and so on. So some of these houses were empty, but you can go to the government and be like, hey, actually I own this house. I left it. So whoever was living there gets like evicted because you're like it's not for it's in Lebanon.
Yeah.
Like the land is for the Lebanese people, but it's a refugee camp for Palestinians. Unless you bought it from a Palestinian guy and they exchanged the papers,
Mm-hmm.
it's still yours. So my dad filed like I wouldn't say a complaint. He filed a paper. They're like, okay, you guys have like a year to leave, and the people like left, and then we ended up living in the house that my mom was like raised in.
Holy.
Yeah.
How long did you live there for?
I lived there from I think I was like 6 till 16.
Okay.
And the funniest thing is, 2006, we get our on Sunday. I remember this. On Sunday, it was the World Cup. I think Italy versus France.
Oh, dude, that's okay.
Yeah, so we get a call, and it's weird because it's Sunday, from the Canadian Embassy, to come pick up our visas. Now, in Lebanon, there's a Canadian Embassy, but it's only like for paperwork. But if you're gonna do an interview, like to come to Canada, you gotta go to Syria. So this is Sunday, and we get the call. We're like, okay, sick. We're gonna get our we're leaving. We're moving to Canada. Monday morning, Hezbollah and Israel get into a fight. Because what happened, there was like a bunch of Israeli soldiers in Lebanon, and they're like, so Hezbollah is like, you know what, we're kidnapping these guys. Like you're on my territory.
Mm.
So Israel's like, yo, like give them back or we're striking war. And like, okay, then go ahead. And then the war happened, and then now Israel targeted every infrastructure, bridges. So now how the hell are you gonna get from Lebanon to Syria when there's like a war, and you have till September to pick it up, and this is July. So bro, a good thing was like 30 days. So it's like you left Lebanon in the 70s from war, and you left Iraq from war, and then now you're leaving Lebanon from war again. You know?
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
It's just a crazy path. So like you came here in 2006. Like what was that transition like? Did you I'm like were people I'm assuming like you had a good you spoke some English and stuff.
Oh man,
already.
I was I always tell people I was raised by Eminem
Okay, all right.
Because everyone around me listened to Arabic music.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about Lebanon is someone will get a subscription for satellite, and then they'll give you a subscription for $10. So they'll connect the cable to your house, and then I had MTV.
Yeah.
I had there was a channel called the Movie Channel. And what it is like if the movie came out like in June, in July it'll be on TV, and it'll have translation. So now you're listening, and then you're reading the translation as well. So little by little, I just like you start, and I'm learning English in school, right? But it's like very basic English. There's no like, it's not like you speak it every day. So now you're listening to a song, you're getting the sentence structure of what it is, and then it was like it came just easy to me because I was so interested in like English music versus like everyone listened to Arabic music. So little by little, I came here. Kids were like how you speak English so good, like no, there's no way you've been here for 2 months. And I'm like, I don't know the slang, but I know how to speak like proper English, you know? Yeah, and just me being social, it was very like maybe the first 2 weeks of like high school, it was tough because like you have break, you're like okay, sitting by yourself.
Who'd you move with?
I moved with my whole family.
Okay.
I just have one brother that when we applied, he was already past 18.
Okay.
And he already dropped out of school, so they're like you gotta apply as an adult by yourself, and he's still there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it was nice. At least you got like
Yeah, most of
90% of your family.
Yeah.
Have you seen him since?
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
I actually called him yesterday. I went to Spain in 2022 and 2023. Like 1 year I went with all my brothers, and 1 year I went by myself. He has work sometimes in Spain, so I just met up with him for the week.
That's
and,
sick. That's sick. Have you traveled a lot in your life?
I wouldn't say a lot, but I've traveled a bunch of places. I've been to New Zealand. I've been to Peru. I've been to Spain. I was in Ireland for like 1 day, and there's like one more country. Yeah, no, that's about it. But I've been to Spain like multiple times. I think I'm gonna retire there.
Yeah.
I went in 2019, and then in 2022, like to see my brother, because what happened is, Sunday night, my brother calls me. I'm half asleep. He's like, "You wanna come with us to Spain?" And I'm like, "Nah, man," because I was going to Miami. Oh, that's where I was. I went to Miami. I was going to Miami in this is March, beginning of March. I'm going to Miami to the end of March. I'm not gonna take time off work to go. And then the next morning he called me and he's like, "You sure you don't want to go?" I'm like, "How much is the ticket?" He's like, "It's $1,200." And I'm like, I looked at my account. I'm like, I can afford it. Like, what am I gonna when am I gonna do that again in my life? Where like me and my 3 other brothers are like in one country on vacation on the other side of the world. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all about that, man. Memories are
they're exactly
like the most important thing.
So I just I'm like, you know what? Sure, because I work for my brother, so I don't need to ask for time off. So Monday I decided, I'm like, yeah, sure. Tuesday afternoon I was gone.
Sick.
Yeah.
Sick. I plan to travel a lot more. Actually, I'm trying to get my passport this year, but I never got it before. I don't know exactly how long it's going to take, but yeah, I want to start traveling, man. It's going to be nice once my daughter's older too.
No, absolutely. And the thing about traveling, I like everyone goes to, my friends at least, they go to Cancun, they go somewhere in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And it's like you're in a resort. You go maybe you go see a pyramid in Mexico or whatever, but you don't get to experience traveling until you're you get out of your hotel.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, I'm ready to go. You walk in alleys, you experience the country versus just being at a resort. It's I drink, I party.
Yeah, but it's also resorts. That's the.
It's like you're going on vacation to relax.
They're appealing to tourists, so even something like the food is just so watered down and white that it's
absolutely.
You go to Jamaica and you eat a jerk chicken at a resort versus you go down the street and eat it out of a small little hut or something.
Yeah, or someone on the road with a barrel.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. That's where you're gonna find the real shit.
No, absolutely, absolutely.
I totally get that, dude. I totally get that. All right, let me ask you. if you were an action figure, what 3 accessories would your action figure come with?
You know, I would say like some sort of a skill saw.
Yeah, a skills. Okay.
Yeah, you know, because like
I got
you,
you. That's
something
part of
like
it.
say like you want to open a door. It's like you can punch it, right? But like you know, you can also like break the lock with it.
All right.
I would say maybe some sort of like a burning laser.
Okay.
You know, just
Okay.
like you know, you kneel down and it comes up from your shoulder.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And bro, like I would say like mud shoes, because like you know, say like you go in a hypothetical world and like there's sandman, you know, and you throw some water, you're stuck. You're like, no man, I got my mud shoes. You know what I mean? Where like you never get stuck to anything, you know.
All right.
Or like Spider-Man just like wraps your legs or whatever. You're like, no man, I can move with these shoes.
Okay, dude.
You know what I mean? Like some sort of shoes that are like invincible. You
I
know?
think how you're coming at it.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. I was coming at it from a little different angle. I feel like now that you're saying it, I was like, fuck. Fucking laser, fucking that's dope as shit. I was
Yeah,
like,
because you're like, wait, you're in a situation where you're like, you know what? Let me tie my shoes. You know, and he's like, you just hit him with a laser from your shoulder. You know. You know do you remember Futurama?
yeah.
You know
yeah,
that
of
like the
course.
clamp. You know the clamp. It's like the clamp is sick because like you can clamp something, but if you have a skill saw in your hand, it's like come clamp me. You know, it's done.
Did you ever watch? There used to be this like this show where like fucking robots fought. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Or
It's
like
just,
Robotica?
you
Or
build a fucking robot, and then another person builds a robot, and you go in this like kind of like makeshift arena that has all these.
but
like,
they're more like
props.
cars, right?
Yeah, they're like controlled like remote control.
Yeah,
cars.
Robotica. I think that's what it was called.
Bro, that shit was wild. Back in the day,
Yeah, on
there
the
used to be
Discovery
some
Channel.
really
Yeah.
weird shit, dude. But that was like, that's what that fucking, that's what got me thinking of. Yeah, I was like, probably a microphone, maybe a ref shirt, and then I feel like I can't say my lady because my lady would be another figure. She's not an accessory, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
is the baby an accessory? Is she? I don't know. I'm gonna say my daughter, maybe. I don't know, man. But I was just thinking of all like the things that that like I do that like kind of fully represent me. But I really like. I don't know.
Yeah, I went
Maybe
above and
some, like,
beyond, eh?
No, it's all right. I dig it. I thought it was fucking funny. Maybe like. I don't know, like Batman used to have some like weird shit on like his belt. Maybe just like a gadget belt.
Yeah,
Some
yeah,
sort
yeah.
I don't know, some shit like that on it.
Yeah, you know, belts on superheroes are underrated. You know what I mean?
They pull things together. Like I feel like
It's like-
Superman
yeah.
with a more of like a,
It's like
a
underwear-
belt
underwear-
instead of the underwear.
yeah.
Like I like the modern kind of
Yeah.
take that.
Does the Green Lantern have a belt?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
But like he's got like his whole fucking thing. Like his ring is
yeah,
like.
yeah. It's like a purse on your
infinite.
finger.
You can
Yeah.
just, yeah, dude. Are you like into like superheroes and shit like that?
You know what? Not quite, but like I watched like the random like movies like here and there.
All right. They've been kind of. There hasn't been a lot of good ones lately, but I'm excited for the Deadpool Wolverine one.
Oh yeah, because I
Yeah.
remember I don't know which thing it was like X-Men where like he fights him on top of a nuclear reactor, but but Deadpool can't talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that. That was bad.
Yeah.
That was. Well, here's the thing. Now that I look back at it, like it's not the worst of the X-Men movies, but like the way they did Deadpool wasn't good.
Yeah,
the way they're
yeah.
doing him now is better, and I think they even kind of poke fun at that version.
Yeah.
Of Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool, like when I first like, cause thing is I was like, when I watched Deadpool, I realized who Deadpool is. Yeah, like when I watched the movie, cause like I thought like I'm not into like deep into like the DC and Marvel
Yeah.
and whatnot, and because bro, fucking man, bro, I can like we can barely afford fucking food. Never mind like magazines and action figures. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
fair,
yeah.
bro. When I obviously didn't have the same upbringing as you, but I definitely felt like I didn't get to enjoy my childhood as well.
Yeah.
So like now, like I
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like am enjoying all the shit maybe I should have enjoyed when I was a child.
Absolutely.
You know, I take a lot of joy in that shit. I collect comics as well.
Yeah, nice. I'll tell you one thing. Like for me, it was going to restaurants, because like growing up, it's like me and my buddies would be like, "How many times have you been to a restaurant?" And we'd name the times that like we went to like a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, "Oh, I've been to this." You know, it's like, yo, I went to a restaurant like 4 times, and my buddy went like 6 times. So it was like, not now. It's like I eat out more than I cook, because like it's like an unsolved trauma, if you want. You want to say.
Me and my lady do that shit a lot. Like we just, and I cook. I can cook pretty well, man. And there's just so many options now.
Yes.
Yes. Back in the day, there was like you got like KFC, pizza, Chinese food, you know, and there now you can just get anything. You know, too many options isn't a good thing. I don't think.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like you gotta choose, right? You're like, my thing when I go out, it's like I'll look at the menu. I'll pick 3 things. No, I'll pick 1 thing out of the 3 things.
Okay, all right.
Because you're gonna okay. I want the calamari, and I also want the bruschetta, and I also you're like, oh man.
Am I just gonna get apps? Maybe I'll just get a bunch of apps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, man, you'll have sometimes you'll have the apps, and you're like, dude, I'm full.
Yeah.
Especially with the bread, like you get a spinach dip, you're like, okay, like there's so much like cream and cheese, and then the bread is like buttered with or like oil.
Yeah, I get you.
And you go to the dish, and say you get like a pasta or a steak, you're forcing yourself to eat the steak, and then you leave, and you're like, oh man, I feel so bloated. Right? At least that's
most of the time too. I feel like when you take like shit, if you don't eat it at the restaurant, like for me, 9 times out of 10. I don't touch it after I get home, bro. It's like if I don't eat it there, it's over. And a lot of the times, like the shit only tastes really good when it's like hot and fresh. You know,
Absolutely.
You try to like reheat that in the microwave. It's it's never the same. Dude.
You can't reheat French fries, you know.
No, that's true, dude. French fries too. They have a real small window. As someone like who works in a restaurant and has like just an insane amount of French fries, they got like 10 minutes. After like 10 minutes, they're done. And I would even say that's pushing it. Like you gotta really eat them when they're hot, you know?
No, absolutely.
So 2006, when did you start stand up?
2013 was like my first set.
Okay. What made you start stand
up? So when I was in Lebanon, like going back to the pirated cable, there was a channel called the Paramount Network, which is the same like Paramount as now, right? But they had a channel, and one day they had like the Eddie Murphy like Raw, and that was the first time like me watching like stand up. So I was watching. I get the jokes, but like I don't know what the hell like he was doing, right? Fast forward 2007, 2008, Facebook used to have these things where like someone would post a video, right, and it would get reshared and reshared and reshared, and then there's I don't know if you know Pablo Francisco. He's like a
name definitely sounds familiar.
So that was very like a viral thing like on Facebook. Like you go to anyone's page, like they had that video on, right? One day my buddy shared a video of Eddie Griffin. You know Eddie Griffin?
Yeah.
So I think the album is called Voodoo Child.
He was in a movie too with Dave Chappelle. I can't remember what it's called right now. Undercover Brother? That's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, I think so. So. And bro, that summer, I think summer 2007, dude, I watched the whole thing, and I was laughing. So next day is like, yo, this is cool. You know what I mean? So I started watching stand up throughout the whole summer. I was telling my brother's like, you know, they give classes for these like in Toronto. Like no way, like I would love to like go up, because man, growing up we used to have like a convenience store right next to my house, and then there was like older people, like they would play cards. You could come and grab like a Pepsi or whatever, and these guys are playing cards, and like while you're playing cards you tell a joke, someone will tell a joke, you know. So laughter's always been around, and I loved laughing. And coming here, at first I didn't know how to like tell the jokes in English, right? But I always loved to laugh. I go after the summer. I go to school. Now, mind you, I didn't have a job, so the whole summer I'm listening to stand up. So I'm going to tell a story to someone, and then I'll pause, and then I'll finish the story, and then they would laugh. So this is like grade 12, and then now like Karam is the funny guy. You know what I mean? Versus like the guy fresh off the boat.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, oh, this guy is the funny guy. He's like, yo, we're having a party. Come. I'll go to a party. It's like, yo, tell him that story. You know what I mean? And I'll tell the story of these guys. So I instantly started like getting into like, the Karam is the funny guy, right? I go to college for chemical engineering, like after high school, and dude, my professors are like the teacher will be explaining something, and I'll say something. Man, there's like 100 kids in class, and I'll say something, and then everyone will start laughing. In the lab, everyone like I just had people laughing all the time, and then one guy was telling me, he's like, that Humber gives like there's like a program, like for comedies, right? Stand up comedy.
Mm.
It's like, you're pretty funny, man. And bro, I was getting Fs, right? But I was making my teachers laugh.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna drop out of this course because like I'm gonna go on academic probation, and go like do that course. So my brother is like, dude, you think you're the funniest guy like in the country? There's a lot of funny people, and like, what are you gonna do? Like, you want something to like make you money, you know what I mean? Because like you can do stand up, but like where are you gonna get your income from?
Mm.
Say like you're not gonna go like finish school and like, now I'm a comedian, now I'm gonna go into like make a movie.
It's a long game for sure. It's
exactly. So I was already like serving at a restaurant,
mm-hmm.
and I loved that industry, just like because like hospitality in general, it was very fast paced and fun, and you get to talk to people. One guy in the kitchen, he's like, yo, come work for us. We'll give you an extra $1. Mind you, this is $8.50 an hour.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's like, I'll give you an extra $1. And I would start working in the kitchen, and my brother's like, yo, you're already working in the kitchen. Why don't you go into culinary management? Say, like he was telling me, he's like, he gave me a bunch of options. I'm like, you know what? Culinary management sounds cool.
You did that at Humber too?
I did that at Humber. I mean, I never like finished. I did the first year.
When did you go? I took. I didn't take culinary management. I did industrial cooking, because I was originally thinking I was gonna do like hospitals and like.
Oh, okay.
Just like those big kind of places. I kind of did a little bit. Like I've done like some catering, and I worked for like a company that did like, and it's not like something that is like really flexing my muscle, but they did all the food for like quite a few airlines. They were right by the airport, and like it paid good, but it's not like you're not making great food. But
no, absolutely. 2012 till 2014.
Did you know Bodanis?
Oh man, Bodanis.
Yeah.
And Chef Shauna.
Hell yeah. She was cool, man.
There was a chef, I think Chef Mitchell. I don't know if
I don't know, man. There's a few that I don't remember.
But Bodanis, you can't forget Bodanis.
Yeah, you can't. There was another guy, Tooney. I think he kind of.
Wait, what was he? Is he Filipino?
No, he's like a tall, really skinny white guy. I think light brown hair. Anyways, it's not a super big deal, but we know a couple of the same.
Yeah. That Chef Mitchell, man, that guy was so mean to me. Like the whole.
Was he like the smaller, like brown dude?
No, he wasn't. He was. It was like I think he was French.
Okay.
But until the last day, like we were doing, and he would complain about everything I would do, but I'm like, yo, can you get off my case, man?
Yeah.
And then I think it was the last class, but I feel like because he saw, like, because anytime I would make my food, like, it was seasoned right, but there was like he always had like some like constructive criticism to give me, right? Because I think there was like this one class where like everyone like didn't have, like, I think we were doing like a mushroom soup, and my mushroom soup was great, but I couldn't finish the pea soup in time because I was the chef of the day. So everyone took the peas, and I ended up with like such a small amount. So I was following the recipe with less peas. So I should have fucking like water, you know what I mean? Like green water.
Yeah.
But I think he liked me. That's why he put pressure on me.
Yeah.
Because like, no, when you go into the industry, it's a fast-paced industry. You got to deal with the criticism. Like your chef is yelling at you, "I need the pasta right now."
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You're still in the industry.
Yeah, I'm doing some other things. So like, I'm good at what I do, and like I've been doing it for so long that like my pay is at like a certain
Yeah.
So like, but man, like I realized I think early on what actually makes people happy is just doing the things that they like to do. So like that's always what I've prioritized. And I don't get me wrong, I love cooking and stuff, but as I get older, like I don't like the hours. Like I don't really like being away from my daughter at any time, dude.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
now, like this, it really puts things in perspective and look at what's important. And I want to give her that, follow your. This is why, having two parents in the picture I think is so important. The point that I'm getting to is like, I want to give her that like follow your heart and do things that you're happy and excited to wake up for every day. And I think my lady went to school for like a significant amount of time. She's like fucking super smart scientist, makes like a lot more money than me, even though I have like 3 jobs if you want to consider stand up and the reffing. I do, I get money from them. So like, as much as it's important, it's like, what? So I'm fucking ping ponging here. I keep thinking of things. Jackie Chan, Jackie Chan. He just was quoted like over like the last month saying that when he dies, like his kids aren't getting any of his money.
Yeah.
That's insane to me. Like, what did you even do it for, bro? You did all this stuff for nothing. For nothing. If you're just gonna give it away, like. If I had a lot of money, and bro, I understand struggle. People need struggle, and I'm not trying to take that away from my daughter, but I'm just trying to prevent unnecessary struggle. I don't want her to be spoiled, and I want her to understand what hard work is, but also, like, no one wants to be spending fucking 40 plus hours a week of their life. Like, when you add all that up, man, the amount of time you're actually on the planet, and like that's like a third of your life, bro.
Yeah.
And you're spending like all of it doing something you don't like doing.
Absolutely.
I don't know. If I was Jackie Chan, maybe one day we're gonna talk about what we do if we win the lottery.
Yeah.
Actually, do you want to get into that?
Sure.
Fuck. Do you want to start with that one?
Yeah, man.
Did you write it down?
I was thinking about it on the way here. I didn't write it down.
I can go first then and
Sure,
give you
sure.
like a second. Okay, so admittedly, before I had my daughter, this would have been different. At least a couple things. But number one, quit my 9-to-5 job. That's what I'm doing. I don't need it anymore. I'm spending time away from my family this is where I want to be. So that being my number one. I feel like I wouldn't have done that before my daughter. I'd be like, I still need maybe put my hours down.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, nah. Pay all my debts. That's my number 2. My lady's debts. All that shit. Clean slate. Then I would buy a house. I was like, when I was originally doing the order, I had buy a house higher, but then I was like, no, I should pay the debts first because it would look better when I go to buy the house. That kind of shit, Now I'm thinking like a fucking, like, adult, dude.
Yeah.
So buy a house for sure. Nothing like... It'd be nice to, like, sometimes you go around, like, Toronto or even, like, Etobicoke, just the outskirts of Toronto, close enough where, like, the TTC's still there, and you see, like, big houses with big properties.
Yeah.
Like, if I could get one of those properties in Toronto, it would be nice. But I think most of the housing situations in Toronto, like, everything's too tight. There's too many people. Like, we were talking about fucking... I don't even know if we were recording at the point.
The traffic?
But the traffic, dude, like, we were talking about that. So, like, I don't know. I feel like it'd be more on the outskirts. Like, Mississauga's nice, but it's getting expensive. Like, right now, we're talking about even moving further, like, to Milton. Because, like, we've gone out there a few times for various reasons, and, like, it's just...
It's a nice area.
Nicer. It's bigger. It's not as developed yet.
Yeah.
So, like, eventually the property value's
It'll go up.
Yeah.
And nature there as well is nice.
Yeah, dude. It's nice to be around that shit.
Yeah,
like, I'm not, like, the concrete buildings and all the noise and, like, it's... I don't know. It's a little much. I liked it when I was younger,
Yeah.
I'd probably put a bunch of... And maybe I should have clarified this, like lottery winnings. Let's say like something like
20 million.
20 million's good.
Yeah.
20 million. Let's say 20 million. Okay, I'd put like $1 million away for my daughter. That'd be my number 4, savings for her. I just, at this point, like, she's most likely gonna, like, we'll be able to, like, give her some money for college, but, like, the way it's going, bro. Like,
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy to me, too, is I knew a bunch of people who, like, their first year of college was, like, COVID. Dude, and they're, like, paying all this money, and they don't get to do their labs, they don't get to do any of the actual shit that they're paying for. They're just sitting in front of like, colleges must have loved that time.
Yeah,
they must have just been raking in money and just, oh man. So that's my number 4, savings for her. And then I think I put expand business, because like right now I have the parental advisory comedy that's like registered. I produce a few shows under that banner, but like I've always wanted to open like a restaurant. Like, food is one of my loves, too.
Mm-hmm.
A restaurant / maybe, like, venue, comedy club, something along those lines. Maybe even start, like, a wrestling promotion.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of people. I'm in the world, like, and, I don't know. I just want to, like, implant my flags in places where I would
where
be
you
able
love
to,
it,
where I'd
right?
have money to grow. And, because, I mean, it takes money to earn money. Make money. And, yeah, I would do that. For sure. Probably the restaurant venue thing first. But, wrestling promotion is just something, like, I see a lot of people doing it, and I'm like, I think I can do this a little better than some people.
Yeah,
Not everyone, don't get me wrong, but, like,
No,
they can do it. Sometimes
you're
see...
no Vince McMahon, but, like...
Do you ever go through, like, a rough breakup? And then, like, you see just some, like, too out of shape. For whatever reason, in your mind, you don't think they're attractive, whatever. But they're fucking happy. They found their person. And you're like, if they can do it, I can fucking do it, man. Like, sometimes I need that kind of motivation.
To add to that, one time I was like I just bought my truck. And I was cruising with my truck. And man, I saw, like, 2 homeless couple. And like they were like cuddling and shit, and I'm like, bro, this is like, what's this word? Like, I would rather be homeless with like someone, rather than have this like beautiful like brand new truck. You know what I mean?
Driving away from this homeless couple, just sad.
I was like, yeah, dude. I was gonna go up to him. Like, you can live in the car. You know what I mean? Why are you with this guy? But like, yeah, man, it was
good for them though.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And bro, like. They probably stuck together and, like, got a place. I don't know, man. Shout out to them, bro. Shout out to them.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. Love is a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. But, top 5 things I would do if I win the lottery. Probably, the first thing's probably, just like you, clear my debts.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to build, like, a place of worship. You know what I mean? Like a mosque.
Mm-hmm.
Or even, like, the thing is, the mosque will, like, take care of itself. Versus like an orphanage. The orphanage, you still have to take care of it, right? Because like, yeah, people will donate, but the mosque is like, people will go pray, and then they'll always like, they'll like, there's this like welfare, like Muslim welfare center, around like Central Parkway and Mavis.
Mm-hmm.
It's like every time I go there, like to do any donations, there's people like just like bringing in stuff. There's people coming and grabbing stuff. So like that place will like. Yeah, you'll probably still have to like put a little bit of money into it, but it will take care of itself just from the donations and like the community and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I would 20 million. You can definitely get like a piece of like island like somewhere in the Caribbean for like $1 million and develop it for another like $1 million. So that's 3.
Thinking. That's
yeah. I would definitely buy I wouldn't say like a yacht, but like a nice boat. Like say you're in St. Lucia, you're like, you know what? Let's go to Barbados. And
you're something like, you can sleep in and
exactly,
like cook in and shit.
Exactly. And like you can just like, okay, what do you want to eat? You want to eat a shark? Let's hook up a shark. So that's 4, and then 5, dude. I would just like you, man, I would definitely do like, I want to like, I think it's still achievable. I want to do a food truck.
Mm.
You know, like and travel around with the food truck, and like have it like a, you know, not like just like a food truck. Like have you seen the buses, like the transit bus, that they turn into like a food truck? It's
No.
yeah, man, because like the back they do like, you have a
That's
whole
sick.
line. Yeah,
So what,
yeah,
do
yeah.
they have like seats set up, or is
No,
it
no,
just
no,
like
no,
place
no,
to
no.
like cook and get
It's
your
just,
food
like
and stuff?
I mean, you know what? To be honest, like the way I saw it is like I'll do the back, because you know how you get on the bus and you step.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do the back as the kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll do like the front. You know, like have a couple of seats, like drilled in, and then maybe like, you know, when you pull the windows out, have that as like the patio area.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's like, man, the possibilities with food trucks and the quality of food with food trucks nowadays is crazy. Like you really just need a nice spot, man. My uncle in BC got like a little spot on the beach. Like, and I mean, it wasn't anything. It was like a little corner spot
Like a
that
hut,
just seemed like nothing. He kind of just cleared away all of the shit. We made like pathways out of like stones, and he added like mulch. He painted like fucking spots on the cow. And I say we because like I helped him do a little bit. I was young at the time,
Mm-hmm.
but like I remember vividly and how he called it Cowpuccinos, and it was like this Italian food truck that served like fancy coffees and shit.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like he ended up just like he got this, I don't know, like shit food truck, redid it. He did it all for like super cheap, and then sold the business for like fucking
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of money, dude. And it was all because of the fucking location, you know?
Location.
Food
right?
trucks, though, dude. I mean, for real, some of the best food like you could get nowadays is like the best tacos I've ever had was a place called Taco Fino, and it's a food truck that's like on Vancouver. Like it's a bit of ways. I wouldn't say drive there from
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
but if you're ever around there,
I used to work at a shawarma shop,
mm-hmm.
and then they got a food truck, and then they're like, "Yo, you're very social, right? Why don't you like we want you to like run the food truck."
Mm-hmm.
And man, we did like Muslim Fest, bro. In 2 days, in sales, it was like 35,000. In 2 days, and it's like, how much did it cost you really to?
Yeah.
For
You don't
everything,
need a
man.
big menu to make like a
Exactly.
profit.
There was
Just do one thing really
there was
well.
literally four items on the menu.
Mm.
It was like like just chicken shawarma. You had the chicken like souvlaki skewers, kebabs, and then just like some sort of like like I wouldn't say a poutine, but it's like fries, chicken, and then some
sauce.
some sauce on top.
All right.
And that was it, man.
Yeah,
And that
dude.
was it. And that's the thing, people like if you're at a some sort of a festival, you don't want to eat one. Like you're not there just to eat one thing. You're gonna come. You're gonna have something from here, and you're gonna walk around, and like you're like, oh, let's try this place. You know what I mean?
I saw a food truck, dude. And it was like, it wasn't in person, so I won't give them impression, but it was like a real food truck, and it just said dollar grilled cheese, and like on the thing it just said no change, sorted out, and like that's all they sold was grilled cheese for $1, and like they were fucking they were busy, dude.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey man, like sometimes it's something
Simple.
just as simple as
Yeah, yeah,
fucking
man.
grilled cheese.
I remember there was on Shark Tank these two guys that like that's all they sold as well, and tomato soup.
Mm.
And then like they went in, and then one of the sharks was like, I love the idea. She's like, you know what, I want to invest in you guys. And then they ended up went from food trucks to like little huts, and they have like a bunch of them all over the states. And it's like, yeah, sometimes something like simple is the best. Like like even with jokes, sometimes you'll say like Jimmy Carr has a joke, and he's like dwarfs. He's like, if you have a problem with that joke, grow up. Right? And it's
Yeah,
like he didn't go like sometimes you have to do a whole story to get to the punchline. I have this joke where it's like I have a joke about Uber Eats, but I'm still working on the delivery.
Yeah.
And it's like you start your set with that, and then you already got them, you know, because you think they're gonna go into like a whole like story about Uber Eats, but
Yeah.
then you can even go to an Uber story of whatever happened, blah blah blah, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you have like a process that you go through before we do our next one?
Writing.
When you're writing, yeah.
You know, man. A lot of my jokes, like I barely write. A lot of my jokes is like I'll hear one word, and I'll create a whole like story around it. Like one time we were like Bodanis. Someone was asking Bodanis like, "What do you think of the keg?" He's like, "I would like it if they had like some peas like with the steak, you know."
Uh,
And then one day I was just like, I was working in the kitchen. It's like some peas. It's like herpes. He's like, oh, herpes. And it's like I went on a date with a girl. She's like, I'll have the steak without the peas. And then I was like, I'll have the steak and I'll have herpes, you know.
yeah.
And it was just like it's just like someone someone calls me something like my buddy called me like gay like 3 times in a day. So I was like, oh. It's like, I met this guy on the bus. I'll make the joke short. I met this guy on the bus. He had the Confederate flag on his jacket, but he also had the rainbow flag. I'm like, yo, what's up? And he's like, yo, I'm part of the gay, you know?
The gay.
Yeah. And it's like, a lot of times just like, you hear people say something,
Yeah.
and you create a whole scenario around it.
Yeah.
And then like, that's the joke. The thing is, about me, I do have good stories. Like, I'll be hanging out with my buddy, and I'll tell like a good story, and there's a bunch of like laughter in between. But when I get on stage, I just like I love the instant laughter.
Yeah.
So I stick to my like punchline. Like I don't even do like the three, you know, like you say like premise, and then punchline. You know, I just go with like one punchline and I move on to the next like thing. I don't do like, oh, I'm gonna add this and I'm gonna add this. I just like I'm a one line like originally I'm a one liner because when I started stand up, someone like was doing puns, and I liked how he was doing it,
Yeah.
and I ended up just like adapting like his style, like a Toronto comedian. And then when I started doing, there was a weed lounge in Etobicoke. This is like in I think it was in like 2015. It's called Vape on the Lake.
Mm.
And man, so everyone that was like doing it there, like right now is like they've already did Just for Laughs. There's like they went to the States, you know. So I started at that because like you are the product of the environment you hang out around. So all these comedians have like they talk about whatever they want, right? There's no censorship in what they're saying. So my jokes went from like stupid puns to like exaggerating and like swearing and like talking about drugs and like doing like all sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Versus just like sticking to like blah 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 punchline, blah 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 punchline. You know?
Yeah. That's fair.
What about you? What's your writing process?
Honestly, like we're similar in the sense that like I've tried to be like a lot time to go and like write on things, but like when shit comes to me, I just like write it down. I literally am thinking of like there was a story about this like super old tree being cut down, and like it was nothing, but like I turned it into this thing about like people were sad that the tree was being cut down because it was so old, but I was like, what about the tree's quality of life, you know? And I started to look at it like that, and then like the end of the story, the tree was like turned to a fence for like, it was super elaborate, but like it all started just because like I heard that this tree was getting cut down and people were offended because it was like 200 years old.
Yeah.
But it was like the only tree in like this field. Anyways.
Yeah. So what if the tree was suicidal, you know, and they were giving her...
Yeah, exactly. He's seen all his family die.
Yeah,
he's the
exactly.
only one left, like, but like, me, man, even when I did some stuff at Second City, and even going through that, like, the comedian, teacher or whatever who was like leading the first year at least, he would always be like, you gotta like pick a thing, and like so I have like I'm like in the sense he meant like pick a thing in the sense of like tell stories or do one-liners
or observational.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. But like you gotta. But I would always just try. I wanted to be like a little bit of all of it. I wanted to do some crowd work. I wanted to have some short, corny jokes, some one-liners. You know, some dad jokes, some stories that were real. Some stories, like my material is easily like 50% made up and absolutely true.
Yeah.
But you'll never figure. Like I have jokes where I talk about like my favorite part about getting herpes is you never have to worry about it getting it again.
Yeah.
You know, and like I've never fucking had herpes in my life. You know, and like I like that. Like I think sometimes especially when we're telling stories. So our job is to make people laugh. How we get there, I don't think really matters. I don't really have a writing style to answer the question though.
Yeah.
I just, when things come to me, I have to like write it down then, and then like I'll build from it. Like sometimes also like jokes just like find a way to fit together, and then I have like two bits that were smaller that turned into like this big story joke now. What about your comedians though? Do you want to run through the top 5 comedians?
Yeah.
You want to go first on this one?
Yeah. I would start with Rodney Dangerfield.
See, that's good. You said one-liner, and like Rodney is all. It's Rodney or Mitch Hedberg.
And then
those are the one-liners, right?
Mitch Hedberg. You have Anthony Jeselnik. And Bill Burr. Bill Burr is so funny, man.
He is, dude.
And Dave Chappelle, but like Bill Burr is just like you know how like like in the scene even like you'll have like comedians that rant, but it's like you just sound angry. You don't sound funny. You know what I mean? But with like Bill Burr, it's just like anything he like rants about, it's like it's hilarious.
Did you ever see him call it? Oh, it really is. He's like the kind of anger that I wish I could be, but I'm not as controlled as him. I feel like when I'm angry. Did you ever see him call out Bill Maher?
Yeah, recently.
That was really satisfying.
He destroyed him. Yeah. I love that there's a bit about like this is probably like my favorite bit by Bill Burr, and all these comedians I actually I have like their jokes memorized. It's not like just like I like.
Yeah.
He has a joke about like going out on like Sunday, like his girl wants him to go out on Sunday. He's like, yeah, because there's nothing that I want to do than go out for brunch on Sunday. You know what I mean? To hear your friends talk about moronic conversations, like, oh, is that pesto? Is that pesto? Oh, it's asparagus. I thought it was pesto. And it's just like so funny because who wants to hear it's such a stupid like fucking conversation, And he gets like so angry about it.
But that's why you see him explain something as simple as that.
Yeah.
It's so perfect, and you realize why he's like.
And it's so relatable, right? And the time he's like talking about Oprah, you know that bit where he's like she does like freelancing and she does this, but she has the hardest job, which is like being a mom. He's like, seriously? He's like, being a mom is the hardest job. He's like, oh, it must be so hard putting DVDs into the DVD player, It's like, that's way harder than being a roofer.
Yeah. No, he's great, dude. He's on my list too. My number 1, Joe Rogan. My number 2, Dave Chappelle. Mark Ford's my number 3. He's a Canadian guy, lesser known than all the others. Carlin's my number 4, and Bill Burr's my number 5.
Yeah, man. Like even nowadays, there's a bunch of like new age comedians. Like Mark Normand is very.
Norman. I recently got. I say recently, but it was like last year. I discovered Shane Gillis.
Yeah. Shane Gillis. Yeah.
Fucking.
He's young too.
He's great. Have you seen his show Tires?
I've seen Tires. Yeah.
It's so funny.
It's more like satire. I feel like it's like satire.
It reminds me of like a Married with Children type show. It seems like it was made like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And they've been trying to like sell it to like some sort of station, and no one bought it, and they finally Netflix got it because it's just that.
You know something about me whenever I watch like TV of any sort, I get pissed at the main character, like the son who like always fucks up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like he pisses me off. It's like why are you so stupid? You know what I mean? Or even like for example, like you watch South Park.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how Cartman is always an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like sometimes I'll watch the episode and it'll be like a funny episode, right? But I get pissed of like how much of an asshole he is. Like there's this I don't know. Did you watch the Lizzo one? Did you watch the most?
Yeah, I did. Dude.
And it's like, bro, like at the end of it, I was thinking about it today. It's like, bro, like the process of writing is like, it's like, okay, we're not gonna make fun of anyone fat, and then he's like, yo, Jew, you're a stupid Jew, fuck, you know what I mean? And I'm like, bro, he said like, like sometimes I'll be watching it and like it'll like bother me, or where he like even the streaming wars. Did you watch the streaming?
Yeah.
Where he went and got titties and shit. And it's like he made everyone work so he could get like his mom was like, oh, I'm not gonna get titties. He's like, yeah, well, I'm gonna get titties. And it's like, bro, you're such an asshole. You're such a like, you know, it's like I'm enjoying the show, but like now I'm pissed because like
and he's done some stuff.
Yeah, man. Like chopped the kid and like fed it to his chopped like a kid's parents and fed him to.
Yeah, did you ever see there was like another episode where I think the kid who he did that to let Cartman know that like because he doesn't know who his dad was or whatever. His dad was the same dad. So they were brothers and he killed his own dad. It was like this. Oh man, but I do remember that he put him in chili and shit.
Yeah.
They just, I like all the South Park stuff that they're releasing. They just need to release more. It seems like their seasons are like 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah, man.
But they are good. The quality is there. It's just I need a little more.
Yeah.
What about superheroes? Do you want to do that?
Superheroes.
I can do that one real quick. Yeah. So I'm like I do this one with every guest. And some people have picked like family members and like I don't know, athletes and shit. It's not always like Batman, but my shit is mostly that, or it is that. I will do some honorable mentions at the end, but Batman, Ninja Turtles, Red Hood, Arsenal, and then Spider-Man. I would say my lady too. I've recently added my lady.
Yeah.
Because I feel like watching her give birth was just something that was just fucking insane. I didn't even think she was capable of like that sort of intensity.
The miracle of life, right?
It's insane, dude. What about you though?
I put Magneto.
All right.
Because like it's such a crazy skill. You know, I do steel, right? Like I install steel.
That's hilarious. I didn't even put that together.
Yeah, because I'm like, bro, like you're not working. Like,
Why isn't he fucking murdering Wolverine in a second? Like, what is going on? Yeah.
Yeah, I put Spider-Man there. I put Deadpool in there.
Yeah.
I put Doctor Strange.
Okay.
And who was the 5th one? I forgot. You know, I'm gonna go with Aquaman because like I'm like
Aquaman.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I had someone else, but like right now I would say like Aquaman is number 6.
Okay.
So like communicating with fish. Man, I grew up around the sea.
Yeah.
So it's like it's nice to be around the sea. So you know what? If I can be friends with Aquaman, that'll be.
Yeah, I always use him as like when women complain about like like Wonder Woman and like her tits were out or like they sexualize all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yo, have you seen like the superheroes that we got? Have you seen Aquaman? Dude? This dude never had a shirt on in any of the movies,
exactly.
like ever, dude. Like they do the same thing, you know? It's sex sells. It's not just you ladies. Like let's be real. Like 50 Shades of Grey. The amount of like white collar proper women I've heard talk about 50 Shades of Grey is enough to like make me never get a boner again.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you know? So like sex sells. Let's just accept
it.
it.
No, absolutely.
Let's do musicians. I can go first.
Yeah.
Mine's a little. I don't know how many are like considered. Like if you saw someone's list, maybe one of the people on my list would be on there. I listen to different kind of music, but Mike Shinoda, he's the rapper from Linkin Park. He's like my number one for sure. And also like not even like maybe like my favorite artist too. Like he does like graffiti style art and just
Yeah.
I don't know. He has his hands in so much
Even
stuff.
the show with Fort Minor he did was
Yeah,
pretty
dude,
great.
I like the Fort Minor stuff too, man. Jared Gnomes, who is the front man to my favorite band, Head PE. They've been around. They're kind of like similar to Linkin Park in the sense that like their sound is very eclectic. Similar to like Chili Peppers, Linkin Park. Like they pull from like reggae, punk rock, heavy metal, hip hop. Like they're you know, all over the place. And he's been, I would say he's the only founding member left in the band. So that's why he's there. Lenny Kravitz is my number 3. He's just one of those musicians. Also like Mike Shinoda, who like the Fort Minor stuff, he did everything for that. Like as far as like the instruments and stuff like that, all his solo stuff, like he does the drums, the bass, whatever is in the song, like he's done it. And Lenny Kravitz is the same way. Then I'm going Dave Grohl, also another guy who just
from the Foo
can
Fighters?
do it all. Foo Fighters, Nirvana. He was briefly in Queens of the Stone Age, I believe, or maybe.
No way.
Yeah, he might have just recorded
like
the first album with them. I don't know if he ever was like an official member, but I remember him being in some music videos when they first came out, and then he just like disappeared. So I don't know his role fully in that. Vinnie Paz is number 5. That's like my favorite rapper. Do you like Jedi Mind Tricks? Do you know what Jedi Mind Tricks are?
I heard the like. I'm not gonna say I do, but there's a song with the Pace One, Young Z, and Vinnie Paz. That's a great song. You know what I mean?
It's a black and white video. I know the song you're talking about. Yeah. What about you, dude? This was like your suggestion, the musician one.
Yeah. I would say Eminem, because like I grew up,
Eminem.
and like bro, the thing is like he was so mainstream when he came out. Like he was sold like to us, right?
Yeah.
50 Cent, because.
What do you think of the new Eminem song?
The Houdini one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I like it. I like after Relapse, I started liking like his albums less. Like I would listen to the album.
Yeah.
But after Relapse, well, I think I think there was a song after what's it called? You know that song he did with Beyonce?
No.
Well, he did a song with Beyonce. And
I didn't even know he did a song.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say Rihanna. That's what I thought.
It was called Walk on Water.
Oh wait, I do know that song. Yeah, I wasn't.
And then the album after that, the Kamikaze album, was a great album.
Okay.
And then like I heard the Music to Be Murdered By. I listen. Like I love the guy. You know what I mean? So I would listen to the album, but I wouldn't like.
They weren't as solid as
Like I wouldn't go like say man the Marshall Mathers LP. I would like man I would like sing
Eminem show. They're all like the first like 3 or 4 albums, whatever. Like they're all you could listen to pretty much the whole album.
Yeah, exactly. So 50 Cent, Eminem. I'm gonna go with Linkin Park, man. Just like as a whole band.
Yeah, all right.
Because I like like in the end, like I listened to it as a kid, and when I first came to Canada, there was like I didn't think people liked rock as much as like new metal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had a bunch of friends like, oh, you guys you actually like this music, and they're like, so like, the thing is. Like if it wasn't rap music, I felt like I was like soft, like listening to this music. Yeah. But then I was like, no, like, what the fuck am I doing? You know what I mean? There's you know drum and bass.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So Chasing Status.
Yeah.
So I love Chasing Status. So that's 4 and 5. I would say probably Onyx.
Okay.
Yeah, even
that's
like
dope.
Yeah. Onyx is.
I like Onyx.
I feel like I'm more into like lyrics. Like lyrical shit is great, but like gangster rap with lyrics, like
but also like gangster rap that is made by like actual gangsters.
Exactly.
It's not just like dudes just saying words to sound tough. It's like, no, these guys have lived the shit they're talking about.
Absolutely.
That's dope. That's a good list.
Yeah, man. But man, lately it's been like my playlist has been like drum and bass like every like.
I used to party like when I went to raves and shit. I would listen to like jungle and drum and bass. That's what I partied to.
Because it's just like, even like right now I still party, but not as much as like I used to. The drum and bass scene is a lot more welcoming versus like the techno scene. The techno scene feels like it's like coke dominated.
You don't see,
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The trance scene is like, it's just like I don't like music that is too happy. You know what I mean? Like like hype, and then like man, you know what I mean? Like I like a couple of trance songs. Don't get me wrong. But,
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's so like typical that I'm like, okay, like I like, you know,
It's
like
it's boring a little.
exactly,
Yeah, I gotcha.
exactly. But drum and bass is like, oh, like you can go from like a heavy rap drum and bass to like jungle to just like a liquid drum and bass where it's like it's soft but the beat is nice. There's a melody to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Yeah, dude. All right, let's end with worst actors.
You're gonna laugh at this, bro. Cause like, man, like to be honest,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want, like, I watch movies, but bro, I could probably name like 6 actors, like, you know, but by heart, you know.
Okay.
But you know who
Say
bothers
as many
me?
as you can. Yeah.
Rappers that became fucking actors.
Oh,
It's like,
okay.
look at like Ludacris.
Okay.
It's like Ludacris. Okay,
Yeah.
other than the movie Crash, I think it was called Crash.
Yeah.
You've only been in the Fast and Furious series. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
And there's no like that's only, it's like it's like, you know, when someone like goes to a job and then that's the only job they've had their whole fucking life.
That's my lady, dude.
Fair. But then like Ludacris is like, okay, bro, like you're a great rapper. Like I love like,
Yeah,
but like,
absolutely.
bro, when it comes to acting, it's like it's almost like you're just like playing yourself. You know what I mean? Not literally like playing, like you just played yourself, but like there's no like character work like to it, right?
You're not trying.
Yeah. Another one is Ice Cube.
Okay.
Ice Cube, okay, like Friday was good, but because like Chris Tucker carried the whole movie.
You didn't like the second one with Mike Epps, the Friday next Friday. Oh, that one was alright.
I just like I feel like even like not Right Along, like 22 Jump Street.
Okay. Yeah.
Like it's like,
I wasn't
okay,
big
you're
on
just
those.
you were just like, yeah, like I feel like whoever he's with carried the movie for him. Like
I
Jonah
gotcha.
Hill carried the movie for him.
Nah.
I mean, what's it called, Jack Black.
Jack Black.
Yeah, I think that's his name.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I just never found him like funny. You know what I mean? They had like Shallow Hal Wants a Gal, and
There's maybe like 2 or 3 movies I actually like him in. I
Yeah,
find
yeah,
him
yeah.
like relatively
like corny.
annoying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't, what's that guy's name? Brendan Fraser, I think that's his name. He was in
Yeah.
The Mummy,
Yeah.
but it was I don't know. I just never really liked his acting,
Okay.
like
okay.
in general. So what are we at? Like 4? That's
I guess
4?
yeah 4.
And The Rock.
And The Rock. Okay.
The Rock is like, you're famous from wrestling, so
Are you a wrestling fan?
man, I grew up around wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah. Until like maybe I was like, until I came to Canada when my cousin told me this was fake. Then I stopped watching it, but I used to love like right now, even right now at home,
Yeah.
I'll like, I think I searched like one thing and then I'm you know how people are on TikTok and Instagram, I'm mostly on like YouTube Shorts.
Mm.
And bro, I just searched one thing and then my shorts end up being like wrestling, you know what I mean? Like, and I love it. I love it because like it's a kickback to my childhood, man. Like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
like whenever I would fight someone, like as a kid, bro, I would like look at my hand and then slap them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Wrestling was like a big part of my life, man. Like, bro, on Monday I gave someone the Walls of Jericho.
That's
Yeah.
what's up.
I gave someone the Walls of Jericho, man.
That's a painful move.
Yeah. And
What did they do, dude?
we were at the beach, and then my brother was on the phone, and then they're like, "Yo, this guy's bullying us," and I was like messing with his brother, and then like he tried to help his brother, so I just like, I don't know how, like I dropped him on the floor, and just grabbed his legs and then like turned him around. I'm like, you know what this is? The Walls of Jericho, buddy. He's like, I'm like, Daph. He's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's just painful.
You know, growing up, I used to like really love the Undertaker, but now you know, JR is such a funny commentator, man. It's like, Triple H, you son of a bitch, you know. or even like Edge still wrestles, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But like I was recently watching the Dudley Boys, the Hardy Boys, and Edge and Christian. Man, that was like these guys. I didn't know these guys
shit.
like they actually sit together and plan like the fight. You know what I mean? I'm like it's like yes, wrestling might be staged, but bro, the athleticism to jump off a ladder and like spear someone. And it's like, yo, it's like now, like Steve Austin and The Rock gotta compete with what they did. You know what I mean? Like, yes, they are the main event, but it's like that crowd loved that fight more because it was like like surreal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like you don't expect them to do that, you know? Or like the Undertaker throwing Mick Foley off the.
That was wild, dude. It's still like the craziest thing I think I've seen. You know, in wrestling to date.
Or bro, even Shane McMahon, like being the boss's like son, and going above and beyond with his like.
Yeah, Shane McMahon was entertaining as a wrestler.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and I don't know what he's doing right now, but there's another promotion that's kind of like second place right now under WWE.
Oh,
and
AEW.
AEW, yeah, and I'm really kind of hoping that Shane McMahon goes there, dude. Like, it would be such a... Oh, it'd be so good for him. And you don't even need to... Like, in WWE, he's like... He wrestled, like, once a year, dude. Like, you know? And he always did some crazy shit. And then took the rest of the year to recover from his crazy shit. Yeah. But he absolutely didn't need to do it. And that's why you had to respect him, you know?
Exactly.
All right, I'm going number 1, worst actor, fucking Larry the Cable Guy. Fucking kill. And I find anytime like a character is placed in a movie, like Larry the Cable Guy is not his real name, but he's playing Larry the Cable Guy in fucking whatever he's doing. And I think anytime you bring an actual like character and put it in a movie, like it's not the character wasn't already in that movie, it's not gonna be good. Larry the Cable Guy had no business ruining Jingle All the Way. He's done like a whole bunch of like sequels that were just garbage. My number 2, Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage is number 2. He might not be the worst actor on my list, but like he's in so much stuff, and I'm like, he's so mediocre, and like he just shouldn't be the main guy for so many movies. Just because he's in so much stuff, I had to put him higher. Because I've seen him more than like anybody else, I think, on the list. My number 3, Britney Spears.
See, you agree with me, yeah.
Can't do it, man. Megan Fox, that's my number 4. I don't think I've seen her good in anything.
Yeah, what was she in the Transformers?
Transformers, she was in Ninja Turtles. I don't even know anything else she's in, to be honest. But she always just has the same face, no matter what's someone could have just got decapitated in front of her. She just... You know?
So,
like,
look at me, I have big lips.
no emotion. Like, you're just good looking, and you're there because you're good looking. I was on the fence, so I'm gonna say number 5, Vin Diesel, but I like had Shaq in there. I was Shaq, like, and the reason I took Shaq off is because there's one Shaq movie that I actually like. It's not good, but like I watched it when I was a kid. The one where he's the genie, Kazam. I think it's called Kazam.
Yeah.
Just holds a special place in my heart. But like Shaq is not a good actor. And all these people
like
I think
should just basketball.
Yeah, or right? Or like fucking I mean, Shaq is a great person. Just fucking what is he doing now? Just commentary, I think.
That's all he does. He's a DJ as well.
Oh, he's a DJ? I've actually seen him at like some sort of like festival and he was like in front. And he was jamming, like, he was going hard. I'm like, this guy's got a bottle of water. He's fucking... There's no ego to Shaq at all. I love that. I respect the man for... As much as people want to make fun of the Shaq shoes, I respect him for making, like... For just doing that whole... No, he just... Back in the day, like in the like Jordan... The beginning of the Jordan days. The Jordan shoe days. You know? He was offered, like, contract... from, like, Nike and shit. And, like, didn't want to do it because they wouldn't be affordable. And he went with another company that was, like, based, like, around the same area as the other one. Yeah. But they did everything for, like, cheaper. And he was able to sell his shoes for, like, a lower price. So, like, low-income families could, like, have shoes that looked fucking cool, you know? And so, like, shit like that, it will always...
I had those shoes. I had those shoes like in Lebanon.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, they were probably a knockoff, but like it was still.
Hey, whatever, man. You know, he did what he did. Also, another person who is like that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, John Cena. How can you not respect someone like John Cena?
Yeah,
you know, with
yeah.
all he's just done that he doesn't need to do.
And he's still doing it. Yeah.
Like, just, I wish there were like someone like John Cena should be a fucking politician. Like, why do we have fucking Trump becoming politician or like all, you know, like let's put some
Arnold,
people that
right?
actually, yeah, even Arnold, like.
Apparently he was a good governor though.
Yeah, I'm not even. I don't know a lot about his. You know, when he was governor, I just know that he won. But like when you talk about Arnold, no one's like that guy's got a good heart.
Yeah,
you know, like it's
yeah.
never like there's other cool things attached to Arnold. Like with John Cena, it's got to be like one of the first things you say about the guy because that's just who he is. You know.
Yeah.
Politicians are heartless, bro. Okay, before we get into this, all right. You get fucking 5 minutes alone with Netanyahu. What's going down?
It's not gonna take 5 minutes.
It's not gonna take 5 minutes.
I'll just stab him, bro. I'll just stab him, bro.
You know, Netanyahu looks like the kind of guy that if he was like walking through like the hood and someone was like, "Give me your fucking shoes," he'd be like, "Yes, sir," and he would felt like you know, like oh god, what a grime. How is he not arrested yet, dude?
Well, you know, man, it's a cruel world, man.
It's fucked, man.
Man, this guy, there was like a rabbi in New York, and he's like, "You're gonna bring the Messiah," and that's the prophecy. Like, and that's what he's living on. Like, he's gonna bring like the second coming of the Messiah is gonna be around him. And bro, the guy is Polish.
Yeah.
The guy, you're not even like
from Philadelphia,
yeah,
no?
Yeah.
It's wild stuff, man. All right, dude. We'll end with one of these bad boys. You pick one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, one of these is kind of lame, so I'm going to ask you that one first. Have you ever been on TV, radio, in the newspaper, etc.?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. For
cooking.
Oh.
I did a cooking segment with the Maple Leafs player.
Sick.
Yeah, Nazem Kadri. You know, you watch hockey?
I do know the name. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like bandwagon fan. Like
Yeah,
playoffs,
yeah.
I hop on the bandwagon if the Leafs are there. You know, but I used to really be into hockey a lot. But one year they went on strike, and I was like, I have no respect. You guys make so much money, you're going on strike? I don't know, and so I kind of lost a bit of interest.
Yeah, that's when I've been on. It was like a cooking segment. I didn't even know who he was until like the Sunday. I googled him. Like, oh, he's my.
That was cool. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I had one thing on the radio that I called in. This is like way back. I'm a big Limp Bizkit fan, and I was at work one night and I was doing night shift. I worked at a warehouse, and there was like 5 or 6 people on my shift. Like it was relatively empty. I got to like do my own thing, listen to radio all the time, and a bunch of people were calling into Edge, and they had like a question. The lady was asking a question like how people felt about Westmoreland going back to Limp Bizkit, and everyone calling it was shitting on Limp Bizkit, and I was like getting mad. And over time, like I was like, oh, maybe the next guy will be there and defend. And so no one did, and then I ended up calling in, and dude, I was like aggressive. Like I would call in. Busy, I'd fucking hang up, redial, I'd do that shit for like until I got in. And it's the only time I've ever gotten in on the radio, and like my thing was just like, well, everyone says that Westmoreland is so bad, but why would Westmoreland, this amazing guitarist, go back to such a shitty band?
Yeah.
You know? And the lady's like, that's a good point, Paul. Thank you for your call. And that was like the only time I'd ever been on the radio. And then like I don't know, 2 minutes later, I heard my voice on the radio. It wasn't like a live thing.
Yeah.
It's like fucking right, and I felt really good about it. You know,
that's sick.
But it wasn't anything like monumental. Maybe eventually.
The other day, someone had the radio like at work, and I was like, it was like things you 135. I don't know. They were talking about like some pickles or whatever. I was gonna be like, yo, I was gonna call her, be like, yo, shut up about the pickles. You know what I mean? Shut up about the pickles. But like now that you're telling me, maybe like they would probably cut me off and like put the next.
Yeah, I don't know if it's everything that they do like that, because like I said, it was the only time I've ever gotten through. But like, yeah, there was definitely like a minute delay or something like that.
There was a thing on Shea 45 where like Iggy Azalea was like was on with Sway in the Morning, and like she was like rapping, and then like someone calls and he's like, "Yo, that shit was trash. That shit was fucking trash." It's like,
I think it was bad though.
Yeah.
I don't even hate Iggy Azalea like other people do. Like I like a couple songs of hers, but like I think I remember hearing that what you're talking about, and like,
it's like get that bitch.
it wasn't good, dude.
Yeah.
Like, all right, what you got, dude?
I can ask one of them.
You can. We'll do both.
When have you gotten lost?
What have I gotten and lost?
No. Like when have you gotten lost? Like have you been like?
Oh, gotten lost, like direction wise. Oh man, you know what, dude? Quite a few times since I got my license. There's no like, I don't have like I was fucking lost in the woods for. I'm pretty good with directions. I feel like the only reason I got lost these times was because I'm going to places that I don't know, that are far away, like 2-3 hours, and I'm following Google Maps. You know, and like fucking, I don't know, dude. They just send me in weird places sometimes, and I miss the days where like, I don't know if anyone drives like, cause technology is good, but it's also bad. Like back in the day, you could get in a cab, and like be like, this is where I want to go, and the dude just knew. He just fucking knew.
Yeah, no GPS. No
yeah,
nothing.
Dude. He just went there. He didn't look at nothing. It was like 20 minutes away, and he fucking knew exactly where it was, dude. He didn't drive past... Dude, fucking Ubers will drive past your spot, even though it says right on the fucking thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, dude. But, yeah, I don't know. Nothing too crazy. Just like a bunch of times because of Google Maps. You?
Yeah, when I first came to Canada, I took the Dundas bus. It took me all the way, like, to Winston Churchill, but I only wanted to be, like, around Cawthra and Dundas. And it was, like, a snow day. I only had, like, maybe, like, $2. I had to use a payphone, call my cousin. They're like, "Oh, just take the bus back." And they're like, "I don't know where the fuck I am, bro." Yeah. I've gotten, like, I think that's the only time I've gotten lost. I mean, like, we went on a hike where, like, we went around the same spot, like 5 times, and they're like, "Oh, man, it's, like, 8 o'clock, it's gonna get dark," you know what I mean? And then eventually you found out, like, "Oh, I remember I followed the red paint on the tree," and then ended up following the red paint on the tree, and then got to the parking lot.
How'd you end up getting back with the snowy day?
You
just waited for the bus?
No, bro. I called my cousin. They came. And they picked me up.
I don't miss that shit, dude.
Yeah.
Would you rather be rich or famous? Why?
Would I rather be rich or famous? Yeah. I would rather be rich. Because you can be rich low key. You know what I mean? And like people won't ask for handouts. You know what I mean? Like look at someone like Bill Gates. He doesn't dress up like he's a billionaire, right? Because you know, like I'm fond of like people not knowing my business, because like sometimes like I believe in envy, right? And people know what the hell's going on in your life. Like they start talking about you. Sometimes someone will be like talking about it not in the intention of being like envious, but it will happen just because of that. Like, man, I remember when I first got my truck, like this guy is like kept on telling me it's like such a nice truck. It's like, yo, that's such, like, you know, a couple times that like for like a couple of days at work, and then a week after I'm turning like into a lane and someone hit me. I'm like, but dude, I just got my car. You know what I mean? I felt like it was like maybe it was my fault for like switching lanes or whatever. But I felt like it was like from that perspective. He wasn't trying to be envious, but then it's like it was more of like, I wish I had that car. You know what I mean? Even at work. So there's this engineer who comes in and inspects, right? He has a Honda Civic. He went to school for like 5 years, and I'm just a construction worker. So I have a 2016 Chevy Silverado, right? And I take care of it. It look like when I wash it, it looks clean. It looks nice. It looks brand new. It's like, yeah, that's your truck? No way. That's not a work truck. That's your truck, bro. You know what I mean? It was like, it felt like, yo, dude, I went to school for 5 years. I'm driving a beat up car, and you're doing the labor work, and you have a nicer car than me.
Mm-hmm.
A week later, I fell asleep behind the wheel, popped 2 tires, and I was like, okay, maybe it was my fault. I fell asleep behind the wheel, but it's like, it's almost like that energy of like, dude, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, man.
Ah.
Yeah, bro. It was like, cause I went out the night before, like that night, and then I went out the night again. And it was supposed to be like, my buddy was supposed to pick me up, and then he flopped, and I was like, I didn't even drive all the way like to Toronto. Like I parked like 10 minutes from my house, and I drove. I get to a turn, bro, and I just like this, bro. I just like woke up, just like fuck. I have 2 tires, like blown, bro. I drove for like another 5 minutes on the rim, bro. Got to like a parking spot, dropped it there, and then walked the rest of the way home.
Fuck.
Yeah, man.
That's a fear of mine. I feel like I'm like the same, and also like on top of all the shit that you said, which I agree with. Like it makes me sad when I see just like certain people, whoever they are, I don't know, pick your big celebrity, and they just like, they have to go places with like security.
Yeah.
And there's always like just groups of people around them. Like I feel like I more belong to like the category of human being that is like what you said. Obviously, I don't have money like Gates, but like the mindset, like Adam Sandler or like J. Cole, like all these dudes that have like just a lot of money that they could be fucking flaunting and like dressing with like just ridiculous
Absolutely,
Conor
man.
McGregor suits and shit.
Yeah.
But they're still, like, if I had a lot of money, I would look exactly the same as I do right
absolutely.
now. You know, I would have certain improvements, maybe bigger place, bigger property, maybe a couple more pets, you know, maybe some more kids. I don't know, but, like, who I am at my core would still be the same. And I just think when you become too famous, like, that changes, whether you want to or not.
And you could be famous for the wrong things, right?
Yeah, dude. Especially now, like, a lot of people are famous for fucking next to nothing.
Yeah.
You know,
Man.
so
No,
yeah,
absolutely.
I would take the money for sure. All right, what's your last one, dude?
My last one. Do you have a quick temper or a long fuse?
Ooh, you know, I have both. I think it depends the situation. I'm getting better at not losing my cool. Well, like, it still happens. And, like, certain people, like, two people could do the same thing, and based on who they are or how we know each other, it would affect me differently. Do you know? I'm just...
Yeah.
It's, there's so many variables in that. But I think I'm both, dude. I don't think I think, oh, one of the cats has been locked in. Yeah, I don't think I am either. I think I'm somewhere in the middle, and I have shades of both.
Yeah.
So, what about you?
Pardon me. I think when it comes to driving, I think that's when I have like a short fuse. But generally, I get over shit like very quickly. You know what I mean? It's have you heard of the book The Power of Now?
I know of it.
Yeah. It's pretty much self-explanatory. It's like if you're living in the past, it was the now and the past. And if you're thinking about the future, it's going to be the now and the future. So we'll focus on the now. Right? And then like say like someone bothered me at work. Yeah, maybe for the first like minute I'll be bothered by it, but then after I was like, oh, will it matter in 10 minutes? It's not going to matter in 10 minutes because like the day's going to go on, life is going to go on. So
yeah.
Just like you live in the moment, you know what I mean? So but I think just like only with traffic, like I'll lose my shit, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Especially someone's driving like 80 in the left lane, you're like, buddy. But
It's
I'm not,
100.
and I'm not like just like I don't honk like bam, bro. I'll just like I'm like stretching my hand at this point. You're like It's like people in the building is like, yo, what the hell's going on? What's wrong with this guy? You know, his horn broke. It's like, nah. It's like I don't, I wouldn't say all the time, but like sometimes I just like I would lose my shit.
Yeah.
Because it's ridiculous. It's like you're okay if you're not on the phone, you're holding the steering wheel too close. I don't know, man. Some people are ridiculous. Like I was going to work, man. Bro, the roads are empty. This guy's driving 100 right, in front of me. Bro, I just like give him like your move, you know, give him the little flash.
Yeah.
Bro, tell me how this guy brake checked me. I switched lanes. I sped up. Now he switched my lane. He wants to like. It's like, okay, bro, go. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You're not bothering me. Just go. I don't care. There's been times I was on. Sometimes you get on from the 400 to the 401, west or east, and like it gets hectic, right? And like, it's bumper to bumper, and I'm trying to get home, and then this lady wants to hop in front of me. It's like, but there's like I'm looking at my rearview mirror, and it's like, yo, there's space behind me. Like, why do you want to go in front of me? And this lady kept on like pushing in. And like she got in, dude. I grabbed my coffee and I whooped it at her car. Like at this point, I wanted just to open her door and like throw it at her. You know what I mean? But it was like I think there was this one time. I think this is the funniest like road rage story I've ever had. So, bumper to bumper, I left work at like 5, and it's like 6 o'clock. There's a truck right behind me, like you know, like a huge truck, transport truck. This guy is like so close to me. I got pissed, man. I opened my sunroof. I give him the finger. Bro, how does this guy switch lanes to the other lane? I hear something in my window. He threw something in my window. I roll down my window. I go to give him the middle finger, bro. Boom! An orange hits me in the face.
Oh,
I was like, bro. I look. I'm like,
orange.
All I have is a grinder. And then the orange that like he threw at me, I was like, you know, I'm not even pissed anymore. Like that was a good hit. He got me with an orange in the face. I didn't expect it. You know what I mean? It's like moral of the story: make sure you have oranges in the car every time you're driving. You know?
That's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, man.
Anyways, man, I guess we'll get out of here.
Yeah.
Can let all these people know where to get at you if you like.
Karam on the gram. That's my Instagram, and produce a comedy show in around Winston Churchill and Dundas, a place called Reggae Fusion. It's usually the last Saturday of every month. So come support local comedy, support live comedy, and thank you for having me, man.
Brother, my pleasure.
Appreciate it, man.
It's been a good time.
Likewise, man.
Like always, this podcast is brought to you by Neon Light District. Hit them up. Use code PillowTalk to save 10%. And by The Great North Apparel. Hit them up and use code PillowTalk to save 30%. Go follow my man Karam. Go get your tickets to whatever I got in the link. And I'll see you guys in a little bit. Peace the fuck out.
Peace.